Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. We got to talk about some Kindles, y'all. I know y'all already know this from the title of the video, from my thumbnail. Maybe you have ESP, I don't know. But I got the Kindle Oasis and I want to talk about it. Y'all may recall from this video that I did a comparison of the Kindle, the Paperwhite Signature Edition, the Scribe, and oh, the Fire. And I think I said in that video that I didn't have an Oasis, I didn't want an Oasis, wasn't gonna get the Oasis, didn't feel like anybody needed the Oasis. All it had was some buttons, and what's important about some buttons? And y'all, I got me an Oasis and I love it. So here's what I would like to do. I don't want to do a comparison of the Oasis and any other Kindles right now. I just want to talk about the Oasis. I want to talk about whether or not the Oasis is worth the money. I did a similar video talking about the Scribe, and it allowed us just to sort of get into the guts and the details of the Scribe. I feel like I need to apologize. There's a dog right here. He just picked up his head. And he is very much enjoying a nap right now, so if you hear some snoring, obviously that's what it is. So anyway, we had the conversation about just the Scribe, and it allowed us to get into some details about the Scribe that I don't think we would have been able to had we been comparing the Scribe to other devices. So I want to do that now with the Oasis and give the Oasis its due. Talk about it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what it has, maybe what it doesn't have, what it offers. And then in another conversation, we can compare the Oasis to other devices. But for right now, I just want to talk about the Oasis. So y'all, let's start with the basics. What is the Oasis? I feel like the Oasis is sort of the entry device into the luxury reader line of Kindles. It comes with either 8 or 32 gigs of storage, depending on which model you get, and it boasts that 300 ppi or pixels per inch display that all of the modern Kindles have, but y'all, that's where the Oasis sort of breaks from the pack. I know I said I wasn't going to do a comparison, but let me just say that where the Paperwhite has 17 LEDs to give you that sort of smooth, even lighting on your screen, the Oasis has 25. And then the Scribe has something like 35 or 37. So that lands the Oasis solidly in between the Paperwhite and the Scribe when it comes to that smooth, even lighting. So much for not comparing, right? It has lots of the standards that come with all Kindles. It's got weeks of battery life. And honestly, some people have complained about the battery life on the Oasis, saying that it's not as good as some others, but it's still weeks and weeks of battery life. So you have weeks of battery life. You can access Audible via Bluetooth through the Oasis, just like you can with all the other ones. Parental controls are available. You can get your Amazon Kids Plus subscription on here. It's that same, I think is it $4.99 a month for Amazon Kids Plus? You can get that on here as well. And y'all, the Oasis has that flush display, so there's no sort of step between, I don't know if you can see it. I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six for another video. I don't know if you can see, I think you can, but the display, there's no bezel, right? The display is completely flush. So you have that completely flat display. But the difference in the form factor of the Oasis, I think, is one of the things that makes it stand apart. Now, we haven't talked price. Let's go ahead and jump that shark and get it out of the way. Y'all, this is a spendy piece of kit. It's $279 for the 32 gig and $249 for the 8 gig. So whether or not it's worth it, I think is just a matter of personal preference, sort of where you are in your life and what you're looking for. So let's talk about the form factor of the Oasis. So the Oasis is the only Kindle to offer physical turn buttons. And let's see if I can get this to focus. You can set your turn buttons, your page turn buttons. You can see them right here. For the top to advance, I have the top advancing forward and then the bottom going backwards. But you can do it either way. And then, y'all, I thought this was so clever. You can turn it so that if you're left-handed, you can hold it this way. And if you're right-handed, you can hold it this way. And the buttons change orientation so that the top button is always the top button, which I thought was very clever. I don't know, maybe that should be a given, but I was a little bit surprised by it. So anyway, you have physical page turn buttons, and the display is glass, not plastic, which y'all just gives it a little bit more of a rich feel. I just turned the page and now I lost the page in my book. That's all right, I'll figure it out. So the glass gives it a little bit richer of a feel, and it's got an aluminum back, which I have a, let me take my cover off mine. I have a cover on mine because I put a cover on everything. Take it out of the cover and show y'all. I'm gonna put it right back in the cover though, because y'all are not gonna encourage me to make bad choices. It's got an aluminum back, which just makes the feel of the device a little bit more solid, makes it feel just a little bit richer. Put my case back on it. It's not as slick as some of the other Kindles are without a case, but I still like having the case on it just to give my fingers a little bit more purchase on it. And y'all, you can see the asymmetric design just makes it feel good in my hand. It just feels good to hold it. So if you like the feel of physically holding a book, I think you'll enjoy the feel of the Oasis. Because for me, this asymmetry to the back of the device, see how like the front of it's flat, but the back is asymmetrical? And that asymmetry to the back of the device just gives you the feel of holding a book, but without like the weight and the cumbersomeness of holding like a big fat book. So I like that about the Oasis. It doesn't have wireless charging. One of the Paperwhites has wireless charging, which I'm not sure if I've tried that yet. If I haven't, I will. I did try it on this and it doesn't. And then I looked it up and it doesn't. So it doesn't have wireless charging, and y'all, I don't know if this is just me being a princess, but it's not USB-C. It's this like old school, y'all don't make fun of my Genki cord, but it's this old school, is that USB, micro USB, micro mini? I don't even know what it's called anymore, but y'all, 2015 called and they want their charging cable back. So is it a deal breaker? No. Is it even really like all that inconvenient? No. Is it slightly annoying? Yes. Could we probably do a little bit better for $250, Amazon? I would say so. Oh, and I should have said this when we were talking about the price. Sometimes you can find them refurbished. So Amazon claims that their refurbished devices are cleaned up, that they've gone through all of the internal gubbins and made sure that everything is in working order. They've updated the operating system and all of the things. And sometimes they even come with a bit of a warranty to them. I think it depends on which device you get and how old it is. So maybe, and I don't know nothing about this, y'all, but maybe if there's some warranty left on the device from when it was originally purchased, I don't know. But sometimes you can find an Oasis for around $210 refurbished. So if you're interested in one and don't necessarily want to pay $250 for it, maybe that's the way to go. I'm trying to think, what did we not talk about? Oh, it's waterproof. We're not comparing, but remember the Scribe, the Scribe is big and I wouldn't take it in the bathtub anyway, I don't think, but I'm definitely not taking it in the bathtub because it's not waterproof. And if that thing goes in the drink, I think bad things are going to happen. The Oasis is waterproof, so I'm also not taking it in the drink, but I would be less apprehensive about reading on it like in the bathtub or at the beach, at the pool, wherever things might get wet and wild, because it is waterproof. It can supposedly withstand being completely immersed for like 30 minutes in fresh water and like a quick dunk in salt water, like, oh, dropped it, get it out quick, in salt water. I have not tested it. I'm not gonna test it. This is my actual device. Nobody's paying me to do this. So maybe somebody else can test it on their device and let us know how it goes. But I think that's it for the specs, y'all. If I missed anything or you have any questions, ask me in the chat and I'll answer if I know. And if not, I'll try to find out or figure it out. I guess to the is the Oasis worth it question, it's subjective, right? Is it worth it to you? I like it a lot. I think that it's a very clear, very clean display. I like the form factor. Did I say that it's a little bit bigger? It's a 7-inch display versus 6.8 inches. We'll do a comparison. Maybe we'll compare a Paperwhite the Oasis, and the Scribe, and see what we think about all of them. But y'all, I love reading on this display. I feel like it's a very clean, very crisp display. I didn't even talk about that. So y'all, where is my mind? Of course, it's got the adjustable warmth options. I don't know if y'all can see that because the sunlight is so bright right here. But it's got the adjustable warm light options, which I do have a Kindle that doesn't have that. But given the option, I would not read on a Kindle that doesn't have adjustable warm light if I'm going to be reading at a time when it might be getting dark or the light might be changing or my eyes are getting tired. I love that option. And of course, the Oasis has that. And it has the auto brightness adjustment, auto adjusting brightness. I don't know how to say that, but you can set it for your brightness to adjust automatically. And y'all, I really enjoy that when I'm reading in like any kind of dodgy light or where the light might be changing. Like I'll sit here, I've mentioned this before, I'll sit here in the late afternoon into evening reading as the sun's going down, and you can see there's a lot of sunlight in this room. So as that's going down, the light changes a lot. And I love the fact that the Kindle adjusts for me, because y'all, this is going to sound so like over the top princess, but when you're really into your book, you don't want to have to mess with that stuff. You just want it to happen for you so that you don't have to stop reading and mess with those things, right? Or is that just me? Anyway, maybe it's just me. Maybe that was a bit too much information. Sorry. Back to what we think about the Oasis. I enjoy it a lot. A lot of the features that I like about it are available on other Kindles with maybe not as steep of a price tag, but I do like the Oasis. I like the form factor. I like the luxurious feeling of reading on it. And to me, even that little bit of a difference in screen size from 6.8 inches to 7 inches makes a difference when it comes to that sort of luxurious feel of the reader. So I would say that for me, the Oasis is worth the price tag, especially if you can get in on a refurbished deal. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I upload new food and fitness videos on Monday with book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.